We will be seeing how does JavaScript works. So everything in JavaScript happens inside the execution context. You should remember this. Everything in JavaScript happens inside the execution context. And how does the execution context looks like? It looks something like this one. Okay. And now what it does is whenever the JavaScript encounters code, it tries to execute it line by line. This is because JavaScript is a synchronous single-threaded language. You should remember this as well. JavaScript is a synchronous single-threaded language. Now, once the JavaScript encounters the code, what it does is there are basically two phases. One is the memory allocation phase. The second one is the code execution phase. Now, first we will be seeing how does memory allocation happens. We will look that phase in detail with the help of this example. So as soon as JavaScript hits the first line, it sees that it has the var1. What it does is it allocates some memory for it. And right now it will be storing it as a key value pair. And for the var1, it will be storing a placeholder as undefined. Now the code goes to the second line. It sees that it has a function written here. The function storage is done a little bit differently. We will be storing the variable multiply by 2, but instead of assigning it undefined, the JavaScript puts the entire code which is written for multiply by 2 as its value. Now the code goes to the third line, that will be num1. Again, now as you all be knowing, what num1 will be assigned? It will be assigned the value again as undefined, and num2 will also be assigned a value as undefined. So this is how the phase 1 works, and phase 1 is the memory allocation phase. Now the JavaScript goes back to the line 1 and tries to run the code again, but this is the code execution phase. Now it encounters the variable 1 and it knows that it has the value test. So what it does is it removes this undefined and assign the actual value test over here. After that, it will skip this because nobody is invoking this function, and the line execution will go to this one. Now it sees that num1 is getting value from multiply by 2 function. Now what it does is it goes to this line multiply by 2, and in case of function, whenever a function is executed, a brand new execution context is created. So the function is invoked by this num1 and a new execution context is created just as this one. And again, same thing happens. It will again allocates memory to num and answer. Initially, they will be undefined, and after the code execution phase, in the code execution phase, it sees that num will be having value 2. So it will remove this and it gives it a value as 2. And after that, it evaluates this answer, that will be num into 2, which will be 4. So here it will be 4. And now what it does is it sees that it is returning this answer. So whenever we encounter this, it is returning 4. And again, the execution is brought back to this line. So what now is done is we know that num1 will be having the value 4. So now what again JavaScript does is it removes this undefined and assign a value 4 over here. Now after this function is evaluated, what JavaScript does is it removes this execution context completely from the thread of execution. And again, same thing happens for this num2 multiply by 2, and the parameter we are sending is as 3. So what will be output of this thing? It will be 6. So num2 will again be getting the value of 6. So this is how the JavaScript executes the code. Now we will be seeing some simple input and output based question in the next lecture. That's it for now. Thank you.